Good day, children. Moving on to part 2 of the lesson. So, we saw how, the main characters, Madame Loisel and Monsieur Loisel. Monsieur Loisel is a clerk, and Madame Loisel is a woman who loves luxury, and she feels that she's meant for a luxurious life. And whereas Monsieur Loisel is a poor clerk, economical clerk in the Board of Education, and they are invited to a grand party conducted by the Minister of Public Instruction. And Madame Loisel is upset that she does not have a suitable dress for such a grand party, and she cries, and this upsets her husband, and her husband, Monsieur Loisel, agrees to give her 400 francs, which she asked to get a proper dress for the function. Now moving on. The day of the ball approached, and Madame Loisel seemed sad, disturbed, anxious. Nevertheless, her dress was nearly ready. Her husband said to her one evening, "What is the matter with you? You have acted strangely for 2 or 3 days." And she responded, "I am vexed not to have a jewel, nothing to adorn myself with. I shall have such a poverty-stricken look. I would prefer not to go to this party." He replied, "You can wear some natural flowers. In this season, they look very chic." She was not convinced. "No," she replied, "there is nothing more humiliating than to have a shabby air in the midst of rich women." Then her husband cried out, "How stupid we are! Go and find your friend Madame Forestier and ask her to lend you her jewels." She uttered a cry of joy. "It is true," she said. "I had not thought of that." So the day was approaching, and Matilda was still not fine, even though her dress was almost ready. So one day her husband asked her, again, why was she acting so strange for the past few days? And she replies that, although she had the dress, she did not have the correct jewelry or anything else to make herself more attractive. And she said that without any jewelry, she would just look like a poor person in such a big party. And she again tells him that she would rather not go to the party. Now to this, her husband replies that she could wear some natural flowers over the dress because that was very nice and attractive. Now she replied that she could not, as it looked very cheap in a party of rich people. And then her husband suggested that she could go to her friend Madame Forestier and ask her to lend some jewelry. Matilda becomes happy again as she heard the idea. Now here vexed means annoyed, frustrated or worried, and adorn means to make more beautiful or attractive. Chic refers to elegantly and stylishly fashionable. The next day she took herself to her friend's house and related her story of distress. Madame Forestier went to her closet, took out a large jewel case, brought it, opened it and said, "Choose, my dear." She saw at first some bracelets, then a collar of pearls, then a Venetian cross of gold and jewels of admirable workmanship. She tried the jewels before the glass, hesitated but could neither decide to take them nor leave them. Then she asked, "Have you nothing more?" "Why, yes, look for yourself. I do not know what will please you." Suddenly she discovered in a black satin box a superb necklace of diamonds. Her hands trembled as she took it out. She placed it about her throat against her dress and was ecstatic. Then she asked in a hesitating voice full of anxiety, "Could you lend me this? Only this?" "Why, yes, certainly." So Matilda visits Madame Forestier the next day, and she says that she was stressed about a party and the jewelry. So Madame Forestier went to her closet and she brought out her jewel box, and she asked Matilda to choose for herself whatever she wanted. So Matilda first saw some bracelets, then some pearl collars and a Venetian cross of gold and jewels. So she was not able to decide what to take and what to leave. So she asked Madame Forestier if she had anything else that she could wear. To this, Madame Forestier replied that she could take a look by herself and choose something suitable. And Matilda saw a superb diamond necklace which was kept in a black satin box. And she took it out with her trembling hands and she wore it. And she was overjoyed with the necklace because it looked very beautiful. And so she asked her friend if she could lend her just the diamond necklace. And Madame Forestier consented to it. Okay, ecstatic means feeling or expressing overwhelming happiness or joyful excitement. Okay, she fell upon the neck of her friend, embraced her with passion, then went away with her treasure. The day of the ball arrived. Madame Loisel was a great success. She was the prettiest of all, elegant, gracious, smiling, and full of joy. All the men noticed her, asked her name, and wanted to be presented. She danced with enthusiasm, intoxicated with pleasure, thinking of nothing but all this admiration, this victory so complete and sweet to her heart. She went home towards 4 o'clock in the morning. Her husband had been half asleep in one of the little salons since midnight with 3 other gentlemen whose wives were enjoying themselves very much. So Matilda hugged her friend with affection and left for her house. Now the day of the party arrived, and Madame Loisel was appreciated as she was the most prettiest and elegant and gracious of all. She was very happy and full of joy as all the men were noticing her. She was full of enthusiasm and pleasure that she was receiving all the attention. And the couple left the party at 4 o'clock in the morning. Monsieur Loisel had already slept by 12 o'clock in one of the halls with 3 other men whose wives were also enjoying the party. Okay. He threw around her shoulders the modest wraps that they had carried, whose poverty clashed with the elegance of the ball costume. She wished to hurry away in order not to be noticed by other women who were wrapping themselves in rich furs. Loisel detained her. "Wait," said he, "I am going to call a cab." But she would not listen and descended the steps rapidly. When they were in the street, they found no carriage, and they began to seek for one, hailing the coachman whom they saw at a distance. They walked along towards the river, hopeless and shivering. Finally, they found one of those old carriages that one sees in Paris after nightfall. It took them as far as their door, and they went wearily up to their apartment. It was all over for her, and on his part, he remembered that he would have to be at the office by 10 o'clock. She removed the wraps from her shoulders before the glass for a final view of herself in her glory. Suddenly, she uttered a cry. Her necklace was not around her neck. So, we see that, Monsieur Loisel, once Madame Loisel arrives, wraps her around her shoulders as they were about to leave because it was a cold winter. And so the elegance of the party dress was actually getting ruined by this wrap because it was not that pretty. And Madame Loisel wanted to leave the party quickly because she did not want the rich ladies to notice her in a cheap wrap when they had rich fur. Fur is, soft hair of a certain animal. So those coats which are made from the fur. Okay. This was because, why? Because she had shown herself as a rich lady by wearing the new dress and the diamond necklace. Now, she did not want those other women to think that she was poor. And Monsieur Loisel asked her to wait while he got a cab, but she was in a hurry and she quickly went down the stairs because she did not want to be noticed by the other women. As they got on the street, they looked for a carriage which could take them home, but they could not find one. Then finally they saw a coachman at a distance and they started calling him. Coachman is the driver of a horse-drawn carriage. And the coachman did not stop. So they kept walking together towards the river. And finally they found a carriage, the kind of carriages that you find in Paris during the dusk time. Now the carriage took them to their home and they both went up. By then they were extremely tired. The enthusiasm and fun for Madame Loisel had ended by then. Monsieur Loisel remembered that, he had to be at his office by 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, as she stood in front of the mirror and she removed the wrap to see herself or to appreciate her beauty one more time before she took off the dress and the necklace, she cried out because her necklace was missing. Okay, so we'll stop with this for part 2. We'll continue in part 3. Thank you, children.